Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. What about you?
I'm good.
Yeah, we'll wait for 3-4 minutes more.
I've asked my colleagues to join. I don't know whether they've joined because my presentation I've just passed on to them. So just hold on. We have still 7 minutes to go, right?
Yes, yes. We'll wait for 3-4 minutes.
So how are things with all the students? I mean, how are students of DY Patil, how they are occupied? I mean, they have been engaged with their online courses. So all
in fact, they are more occupied because of this online system.
Same with us. I mean, we are working for about almost 18, 20 years and doing wonderful things. I mean, I would say, one of the most successful time period for me in last 26 years of my career. So basically, I would say, but the kind of a productivity, in this 2 months has come is equivalent to more than about 2-3 years. I would have done it.
Very true.
And amazing things, amazing multitasking to reach people. I mean, this is going to be only a digital era. It's going to be a digital youth era, I would say. So all the students should be very happy. And one thing is about it, this 2 or 3 months which they are spending in this lockdown, it's going to be for the upgradation of their entire digital skills, because it's going to be different from last 25 years. The next 25 years is going to be the era of youth.
I mean, it is a lifetime opportunity, you can say.
Yes, it's a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody was missed a single day in learning new things in this 2 months, will have to really actually learn those things in next 10-15 years is going to be a Herculean task, because you don't get in a normal due course of time to learn so many things.
True.
Generally, what happens is, if you see in this last 2.5 months, the average travel time for each of us, like for people who are in corporate world, we spend about 2.5, 3 hours in traveling. For students, it is also about 2 hours. So if we calculate in number of hours, it's huge. I mean, it's like it's a waste of almost about 20 working days, which we travel in 2 months of time. So annually, you can understand that every day, if we spend about average 2 hours, it's 365. I would say 300 working days, and 2 hours is 600 hours.
Very true.
And then lot of I would say a lot of time, save of the resources. We are able to bond with the family. We are able to bond digitally. Instead of waiting and meeting for the mentors, bosses, the head of the departments, outside their cabins. Here you can connect. There is no reason to be busy. So if you're free, you can connect immediately. It's like
very true, very true. So how's the functioning of ENAC going on then?
oh, fantastic. I mean, it's like even in my spare time, I'm able to do a big impact kind of a thing. It's like and my motto is like to connect more with academics and institutions. I mean, spend less time with government and regulations and spend more time with students, because they are the future. And if industry have to grow, the students, if they are nurtured right from the ground and they have done a hand-holding in a right manner, they will be actually shaping the industry. And this industry, which is there for next, as I said, 20-25 years in the hands of the youth. They are who are going to bring the new ideas on the floor.
True. So we look forward that this Nutra industry.
Yeah. This Nutra industry is going to be very, very lucrative for all the students. As I said, my presentation is going to cover more towards students' opportunity, more towards students' skill development, more towards students' aspiration. I mean, whatever said and done in so many years, in last 2 years, this industry has grown quite decently and growing at the rapid pace. And it's going to be very important era. I can ask my colleagues to at least put up the slides, kind of.
So how are you going to? I mean, you're going to have a presentation now.
Presentation. So you can do your you can start talking to audience, and then I can pitch in later once you introduce me.
Yeah.
Are everyone, you guys are taking all the supplements or not? Vitamin C or the natural things and all you're taking at home? The ginger, the tulsi, the clove, the kada.
Ginger, tulsi,
that's
kada.
Very important.
That is good.
Right.
You focus on that aspect also today during the talk, because there is a young crowd.
Surely. In fact, what I do is I will also share, whatever the best possible information after this. I've told my colleagues to make a group, whoever join this, the meeting, and share as much as we can share the information, not only about the industry opportunities, but also for the personal well-being. We should share, we should connect more frequently. That's the whole idea. We had a contest, which is, we concluded just 2 days back, and we got an amazing response for that contest. And I mean, wonderful. I mean, more than 50 colleges participated, and 72 participants, and we had a live felicitation on the Zoom, and it was a very interesting, I would say, a program, and we want to repeat that. And probably next time we'll take it live, the felicitation. This time we kept it in a closed group in the Zoom meeting. I think it's 4 o'clock. How many participants we got it?
Wait, I'll just
52. That's a good number.
Your person had sent me some message. I'm just replying to that. He wanted access to NutraWorks.
Yes.
There are 56 so far. I'm looking forward at least 100 to be crossed at least.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Okay, I think we can start. Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone present here. Wait a minute. Hello. Yeah, am I audible?
You are audible, Dr. Somani. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Rakesh Somani, the principal of D.Y. Patil University School of Pharmacy. I welcome all of you on behalf of our university and the School of Pharmacy. As we had met on 9th of May, we had initiated this knowledge yajna, starting with a seminar or rather webinar by Dr. Roshan Palivar, who gave the entire picture of the pharmaceutical industry. Today is our second webinar in this particular series, and this has been delivered by Mr. Sandeep Gupta, another stalwart in the pharmaceutical industry, rather nutraceutical industry. So as I mentioned other day that that D.Y. Patil University School of Pharmacy was established in the last year itself, that is 2019, and we are running two courses, B.Pharm and D.Pharm, both of them approved by Pharmacy Council of India, New Delhi. In a short span of 1 year, the University School of Pharmacy is working hard to be connected with the industry, and we have institutionalized the Industrial Advisory Council, where more than 15 industry persons are there to advise our curriculum and to make our curriculum more industry friendly. So friends, I'm observing lots of students, faculty members, and many industry policymakers are there who have joined us for this particular webinar today. And so it's my privilege to welcome once again to all of you for this session. I'm happy to introduce today's speaker, Mr. Sandeep Gupta, who is one of the renowned name in the field of in the field of nutraceutical science. Mr. Gupta is actually a leader. He holds expertise with self-leadership, servant leadership, and intelligence leadership. He has expertise of more than 24 years of experience in the field of nutraceuticals, pharmaceuticals in various domains of sales, marketing, business development, and business strategy. Most importantly, I can say very proudly that Mr. Gupta is the one-stop solution for top MNCs, Indian corporations and startups for their problems in the industry as well as in the market. Mr. Gupta is the chief founder and director of the first and the only nutraceuticals council of this country, that is Expert Nutraceutical Advocacy Council. So whenever one has to say nutraceutical, the another person will always say that it is Mr. Sandeep Gupta. I have been interacting with Mr. Gupta since last 2-3 years, and he has been doing immense work in nutraceuticals. So Mr. Sandeep Gupta, I'm really happy and thankful to you that you have accepted our invitation and you are here to deliver your knowledge, your expertise, and share your all inputs with us. So to begin with, I just would like to ask a question, and then probably we'll go ahead with the presentation. So can you just brief us what is exactly
Sure.
nutraceutical?
See, I'll just tell you that is a part of my presentation. No, I wanted to take through a student to a very basic definition. Basically we talk as a food or a substance is used to treat, or it's a medical food for the prevention of certain ailments. Exact definition I will take through the presentation about it. Otherwise, in short, we to say it is also used for the prevention and the treatment of medical conditions. In today's scenario, if you see during the COVID, though we are locked down, and now we are talking about taking a preventive measures, nutraceutical is a right fit when it comes to prevent any such disease or infections or in ailments in times to come in people's life. So in short, I would say nutraceutical to simply connect prevention is better than the cure. Nutraceutical fits into a preventive as a front line, and in some cases medical condition it is used for the treatment. So it's a blend of like, no, I would say for the prevention as well as the treatment. Certain nutraceutical is also used for the treatment about it. So that is something, a very simple way of understanding nutraceutical. Otherwise, a very famous definition is already there in this presentation.
Okay, okay. So you please proceed with your presentation now, and then we will be taking up questions once you allow us to do so.
So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to each and every the prestigious guest or audience here, the students from DY Patil, outside DY Patil, from the industry, from the policy makers, anybody who is present here as an August audience. I graciously welcome and giving my special thanks to the people to invite me on this occasion, on this forum to speak, as I'm always inspired to speak to the students, because I feel it's not only now, earlier also, right? The motto, my passion and my purpose was to create a harmony. And I said that when I formed an expert nutraceutical advocacy council, also for when I'm talking about NutraWorks as my organization, my entire focus is to build the sector along with the youth. And I feel nothing can be better than to start in the institution. So I've been doing a lot of activities, a chain of communication with the institutions. I've been engaging them. I've been educating them. I'm doing an awareness and the networking amongst the students. So I can do a value addition to this sector by bringing a new breed of talents on board from institutions right from scratch, doing a hand-holding, mentoring them, giving a right set of knowledge and skills, and bringing them to an industry can have a better direction for this country. And especially when we talk about India is full of talent. And I don't want to develop a talent to go outside India, but to project India as one of the fastest growing, one of the country which is a land of, I would say, potential opportunities which is there. And nutraceutical is one such sector wherein youth should look from life sciences, whether be it's pharmacy or any of the life sciences degree. I think nutraceutical is one such industry where student can make a brilliant career. And I come with a pharmacy background. So I've seen that it is an enormous, I would say, a very super opportunities which is lying ahead of us in this sector. To start with, I'll just take the presentation of emerging opportunities in nutraceuticals. Now we have a special logo we called as Emerging Opportunities Nutraceutical as EON. Next. As Dr. Somani, you mentioned about it, like, no, you not only want to talk about the industry or the opportunities, but also like to guide the students on their personal well-being, on their health, on their wellness, on their fitness also, alongside when they are pursuing their academics or when they are pursuing their career. Now, one thing which is going to be very important, that health will be the culture of the world. Take charge today and lead. When I say this is my famous statement, which is, I just discovered it. And I said earlier also, I'm myself is a health fitness and wellness savvy. I do a daily workout, daily exercise. I follow my diet regime. And what I preach, first I need to practice. So people will start believing me. People should believe me. So I always preach about this, that health is going to be the wealth. It was always a famous statement, but now it's going to be the culture of the world. Amidst COVID, people are absolute panic. People are carrying a fear in their mind. And it is a right time, I would say, during the lockdown, we have developed a good culture of health and hygiene. Health, wellness, and fitness is going to be the saga of the next 25 years or 50 years or forever. So we are going to focus on the health as a subject when it comes to nutraceutical. Also, when we talk about our personal well-being, health is going to remain in the forefront. If we are healthy, we can deal with the subject better, and we can communicate and convince in a chain of, when you talk about in the population, if we all start taking charge of our own self and we start communicating between ourselves to each other, probably we'll create a very strong culture of being healthy. And that's what Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has said about, he's talking about the Mission Fit India, Ayushman Bharat, Swasth Bharat Abhiyan, Eat Right India. All this comes It's all because during the COVID, I think 100% of the population has come to one particular realization that health is become of very prime importance. So it's going to be very critical that how each one deals with it, but knowing the subject well will be dealing much better. So health will be the culture of the world. And I would request each and every audience, students, anybody, any individual who's present in this forum, try and see that they focus on health. It's becoming a absolute prime important. I would say, important, as well as a focus should be health. So focus should be kept for when you talk about an academics or being personal banking, health is going to be the focal point. Now, as you asked about what nutraceutical, nutraceutical is any substance that may be considered as a food or a part of a food, which provides medical or health benefits, including the prevention and treatment of disease. As I said, this is the time, this is the era. It's not only now about the disease. The disease patient, the medical condition patient will obviously require a special care with now the nutraceutical. One saying is, even every single healthy individual would now need to look at its health as a preventive measure. Now, when we talk about as a preventive measure, we would need to look how we can protect ourselves, how we can self-defense, create a self-defense mechanism for ourselves. How do we build? Everyone is talking about an immunity. We would need to understand at every point of time, whenever we talk about in supplements or a condition, we need to understand the problem state in the population. Everyone is talking about an immunity today about it. So what is immunity? Why immunity? When it happens? All these things in a due course of time, each and everyone should understand. Then it will become of a very prime importance when we deal with the subject matter of health. Next. When we see a broad classification, it is classified into functional foods, functional beverage, and dietary supplements. A dietary supplements is where basically the multivitamin supplements, micro and macronutrients, antioxidants, plant and botanicals, and the natural herbs comes in about it. Can we move next?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to give a glimpse to the students, like they are entering into an industry. So giving a little, the global regulatory framework, how this dietary supplement in different countries or the regions they're classified as. In the United States, it's called as a dietary supplements, which then further classified as vitamins, minerals, botanicals, amino acids, concentrate and extracts. In European Union, it is classified as food supplements. In Japan, it is known as food for specific health use. In China, it is known as health foods. In India, it is called as Food Safety Standards Act of India, and under Food Safety Standards Act of India, there's a chapter called FSSR. The regulation name is FSSR, and within that, there are various chapters as like health supplement, nutraceuticals, food for special dietary use, food for special medical purpose, probiotics, prebiotics, specialty food containing ingredients based on Ayurveda, Unani and Siddha, and novel foods. And all these regulatory framework are looked into today the market. Now everything is so robust in India, it's so easy to follow and to comply at each and every aspect, right from ingredient compliance to formulation compliance, licensing, testing, labeling guidelines, and health claim has been elicited in this regulation. So it is very dynamic, very evolving. I think one of its kind of a regulation which has been designed, and I'm very privileged to mention here that right from the day one, I was engaged along with the government in designing this regulation and come and brought this to the surface. And today industry is following this regulation and it's flourishing. If you see lots of or loads of nutraceutical products coming into the market is basis of this regulation. So this regulation, the students who aspire to be in nutraceutical industry, I would say in any side of the functionary or function of the nutraceutical, a premises of the regulation is going to be very important for ideation, conceptualization, innovation, research, development. All such will be on the premises of this regulation with the compliances. Next. Just to give the glimpse of the scenario, the going current scenario, that what is the market look about. The market is, if you see, the poised to witness a significant growth to an increased demand for preventive healthcare, as we all are talking about. A state pre-lockdown was such that 20% of the population was consuming nutraceuticals. Today, the trend is becoming reverse, like almost like in entire world, if you see, it's going to about 60 to 70 to 80% of the population. They're looking preventive measures as one of the area, and they've started taking dietary supplements or some kind of a nutrients or the healthy foods or superfoods or Ayurvedic supplements about it. So the measures immediately when we are going to see amidst lockdown, that people will be more cautious, more proactive, and will take a steps towards the preventive measures to stay away from any kind of an infection or diseases to come in future. So nutraceutical ingredients market is expected to grow, if you see, very significantly by about $11.47 billion by 2024. I think it's going to be more bloated, more fastest growing market. This is still a conservative number. Looking at today's lockdown situation, I feel it's going to be more robust and more fastest growing, and opportunities will be galore for everyone to grow in this industry. Asia Pacific region will be actually leading. They will be the fastest growing region. When it comes to global nutraceutical market, the contribution overall we see in 2 to 3 years is going to be more than about 336 billion, which, as I said, it's conservative number. It's going to be growing much faster because each and every companies in the world is now emphasizing on the preventive measure in the healthcare and the nutraceutical sector. So Indian market is expected to buy about 11 billion USD by 2023, and India is being the very thickly populated largest, I would say, a country after China. When we talk about it, it's going to be the fastest growing market where the population size is very large, and education, awareness, engagement, and networking in Indian population, right from the apex regulator, from the top ministry level, from the prime minister level, it's going to be a very, very important aspect to build that culture of preventive measures. Health and hygiene is going to take a prime stage. Beyond anything else, health is going to be the most important aspect for the preventive measure. Next. Just to give you a glimpse to the students or the accommodations on this particular forum, that how the nutraceutical actually products are built up. I mean, how the process takes place about it. Where it starts from an identification of an ingredients, identification of a very, I would say, a clinically studied ingredients, which is manufactured in any part of the world. Today, India is taking a prime stage with their herbs like ashwagandha. It's taking like a guduchi, or we talk about an astamida. All these things are coming into play. But in nutraceuticals, the developed market are quite advanced. So they will be taking a prime stage in Japan or US or France. These are the countries who will be actually coming up with lots of new ingredients. So in licensing of such ingredients to bringing it to India is going to be the first step to make and ready, to make the ideation and the conceptualization of the products, and then authentic clinical studies on nutrient safety and is going to be the very important. Regulatory approvals of such regulation already have a list of ingredients inside its framework. We would need to tally the ingredients with the regulations while we are evaluating to bring them in India. If it is approved, it's an easy sailing. If it is not approved, we'll have to go under process of approval under the regulation, where there are specific steps, framework to carry out an approval process. So the regulatory framework is very robust. There is a methodical approach to give an approval, and there is a methodical approach to standardize the ingredients in the regulation. So that is something a very big arena when it comes to in-licensing and getting it regularized as a standard ingredients based on the harmonization of the codex globally. So there are various codex where you can follow And such codex can be a referral point for an Indian regulation to adopt and adapt such ingredients and standardize under the regulation of India under FSSAI. Exclusive tie-ups, like companies would be doing an exclusive tie-ups with various companies across the globe, and will try to bring an ingredient about it. So this is one area, and itself ingredient as a subject matter is a huge potential area of job opportunities for a student. So understanding this subject of ingredient, even a single ingredient, if it is understood in a very integrated manner, in a detailed manner by an individual, it is a huge capacity area. It's required a very proper, I would say it requires a proper skill, knowledge, intellectual expertise to screen such ingredients to bring from different parts of the country to India itself is a huge and Herculean task. The pricing strategies, how do you make it economic sense to a population, especially when it comes to India being price sensitive market, it's going to be making it is a very important step during the evaluation to bring new nutraceutical ingredients to India body. These ingredients, when they come into a formulation, a first step while making a formulation, ingredient compatibility is checked with the various dosage form, whether this ingredient will will comply with tablets, or will comply with capsules or liquid, or a kind of any formats where you are trying to make and innovate that product. Effective dosage forms of the ingredients, where the effective dosage, which means if I'm talking about ashwagandha, or if I'm talking about an astaxanthin, or if I'm talking about an vitamin D3 or ABC, these ingredients will be in what quantum will be decided based on the clinical studies of such ingredients when you bring from different parts of the world. Value addition, I mean, ingredients, clinical study is very important aspect. When you use those ingredients in your product, that becomes the basis of the claim based on the clinical studies. Consumer friendly dosage form. When you design a formulation, you have to be very, very particular about what dosage forms you choose, so the consumer takes it. Today, nutraceuticals are made largely in tablets and capsules. There are various novel technologies, opportunities to improve the aesthetics and make it a more lifestyle product to adopt as a preventive measure. Because it's going to be consumed, unlike medicines, they're going to be used daily as a habit for the purpose of health management, for the purpose of health benefit, for the purpose of preventing the disease of the future. Basically, it should be a part of a lifestyle. So the aesthetics, color, shape, size are going to be very important. Which are the dosage forms you can make it? Powders, sachets, capsules, effervescent tablets, disposable tablets, soft gelatin capsules, vegetarian soft capsules, which is the most trending now, the vegetarian soft capsules, chewables and twisties, lozenges, mouth melt strips. These are the technologies which are available so far. And where nutraceuticals has been researched, there could be many such new technologies where a student can think about it during its academic, that what is the technology which can be a disruptive in the nutraceutical when we talk about a lifestyle management and we talk about the health, wellness and fitness. Are we going to make them look as a medicine?
Sandeep ji, can I interrupt you? Yeah. So since this is going on, I have two queries in my mind. So what we'll do is we will have certain questions also because some questions are coming up. Okay. So why a student should take up nutraceutical as a career? Can you give some inputs on that aspect as well?
Yeah, it's coming in. So Dr. Somani, what I've done is nutraceutical as a career. I've made a very separate slide where each student can choose a career. I already made that slide into a framework, so I will be covering in a subsequent slide for that about it. So I'll give a very much clarity where a student can make a career in the nutraceutical sector for sure. I will be definitely giving that. That's a slide which is coming ahead. So I was just talking about this after a formulation or a dosage form, a tech dossier where a technical area will come to know about it, where they have studied during the academics about the quality, about the formulation, the stability data. They will be studying about the protocol and principle. Developing a method itself is a huge task. It's an area of a job. A method development, analytical development area itself is a job area. So product specification, certificate of analysis, validations, it's all process. Packaging, nutraceutical have to be packaged very nicely. It should be in a good quality, innovative packaging, consumer friendly. They should be in a single shot, trial packs. There could be a lot of now coming the digital medium, like now when we're talking about the e-medium, to educate consumer, to educate doctors. There could be a QR code. No, all those things will be coming on the packs, which is going to be very important in today's amidst COVID situation. It will be very relevant and very important to avoid physical contact. So today, lot of communication can be done from your product pack itself. Let consumer can scan the QR code and can have a video which talks about the product benefits and its safety aspects of it. So the companies, the organizations, the businesses will be looking out now this more frequently, more, I would say, with the more wider coverage, and basically to reach to population, to the consumer in a more educative manner, to create more awareness through such digital the QR codes and the barcodes. Regulatory approvals, label claim, as I rightly said about it, India have a very definitive regulatory framework, and regulatory department itself is one of the most influencing department as a student for a career making. It is something of it is in huge demand. So regulatory area, unlike pharma, I would say like pharma is very robust, but in nutraceutical, not only in India, for international market, it's a huge career. It's going to be, I would say, one of the fanciest department where you are also paid well as a subject matter regulatory, because you're dealing with the risk, you're mitigating the risk, you are evaluating the risk, you are evaluating the compliance. So the first point of ideation, conceptualization, identification of a products, or researching and developing a products, your regulatory compliance is very important. When you choose your idea, you also think about the future, whether this will get through the regulations. And to get through the regulations, what are the parameters when we do a research and development? What are the parameters to choose an idea to take further for research and development? Next. Somani ji, I just wanted to take the students to the situation. We are going through various phases amidst COVID situation. If you see the phase one, when we saw very rapid lockdown, though we started little later, maybe about 2 weeks later, but India took a great decision to take a lockdown. And then we came to the phase two, where we saw the number of cases increasing, people struggling to operate, people struggling to get an access to hospitals or the treatments. Government is trying its best. However, they have found some kind of a stability in those. They brought in a certain kind of an infrastructure, but still struggling. But now we are actually into the phase three, where the things are actually not so good, I would say, but still a better phase, where we all 95% of the population are locked down, but we are preparing ourselves now to open up with those red zones, green zones, orange zones. We are getting open, so we are in phase three. Now the phase four is going to be very, very important when it comes to both all the businesses. For them, it's going to be a different nature of competition. So now we'll be entering into a phase four. So now whatever you saw pre-lockdown, the situation in the industry was completely different. I would say whatever has happened in last 25 years is going to be different for next 25 years. So the students who was imaging his or her career to get into a pharma sector or the nutra sector specifically, it's going to be very, very different. I would say, from a perspective as an expert, as an opinion maker, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very, very, I would say, loads of opportunities will be coming to youngsters, where the companies will look for a young talent, young ideas, and they will be looking out for a skill set when it comes to, and say skill set is digital skill set. So that is something which is going to be very important, which I'm going to cover in the next slide, that they will be looking out for some new dynamics. And this new dynamics are going to be very critical for students during their academics to adopt. The adaptability of digital moment is going to be very important for the students to enter. So I will highlight certain areas where they will need to polish their skill set when they are into current academic section. So when they actually land into an industry in this era where there is the economic slowdown, probably a recession pressure will come in, especially from all the I would say healthcare sector, pharma sector, or medical device sector or neutro sector is still better off. We will take a little short term to recover, but most of the industries in the world are going to be having a long term impact of not less than 2 to 3 to 4 years. I mean, you name and know the lifestyle, when it comes to the malls, or you come to textile industry, automobile industry, they are going to take a huge, long time to recover about it. But when it comes to healthcare, especially the pharma, medical device and nutraceutical sector is going to see a new shift. There's going to be a paradigm shift. There's going to be a hordes of opportunities coming in this industry to do something new. And this is something it's going to be very important parameter for all the academicians, institutes, or the students to adopt a curriculum which will be a mix with digital. So that is going to be very important. The digital skill set is going to play a major role in the new era post-COVID, and which is going to be I would say the most dynamic moment for the industry. Next. So if you see, if all the students are present here, this is something a very classical example. I think we haven't got an excellent response of 140 participants here. You can see now when you compare the past and the future. Today till pre-lockdown, we were into the physical contact moment. In post-lockdown, it's going to be the digital moment. When we talk about the boardroom meetings, it's going to convert into e-meets. Lifestyle building, it's going to be a health improvement. People going to gym are going to focus on wellness at home. Fancy restaurant parties is going to get converted into home-cooked warm meals. Socializing means family e-gatherings. Important message from this slide for students, for institutes, is to gear up with digital skill set. It's going to be a digital youth movement. It's going to be a digital youth era. If you see all this is getting converted from physical to digital, it's going to be a very important for student right now to adapt and adopt the skill set. It's going to be very important. So when I'm emphasizing about the nutraceutical sector primarily, I would say, will be driven by 60 to 70% digital. So the career opportunities would be brilliant, because here the knowledge, intellectuals, due diligence, strategy is going to play a major role about it. Now, what is going to be impacting the industry? We need to understand why we say from physical to digital, because there's going to be a lot of impact into the industry about it. Because now when we are dealing with the products, dealing with the raw materials or the packaging materials, these materials, they will have a variability in the price. There's going to be escalation of the price and all. There's going to be, there will be a pressure mounting on the companies about it. They would be trying to look a lot of cost saving measures, cost optimization measure. Digital is the skill set which will try to bring a lot of optimization in the organizations. Then actually there will be a boredom amongst the generation. There will be a lot of fear going to offices, going to operation plants on the shop floor, and it's going to be very difficult to deal with day to day. That confidence will lack in people, because today we will have to take a care, a self-care. So a lot of things which we need to make it in such a way that it has to be managed easily. So lockdown is actually kept everyone inside, and the mobility is going to be cut down. Lot of things is going to be changed into a digital moment when it comes to wellness. Then change in business dynamics. Like when you talk about the physical distancing, actual human presence in any situation is avoided. Now, even working on the shop floor, on the plant level, people are going to be very extra cautious to work closely with each other. So there will be a lot of limitations. There will be a lot of fear. There will be a lot of myth about turning out it. But the solution is going to be taking a self-care and getting it more and more digital. But the operations at the shop floor cannot be digital. So as long as the company divides the skill set and manage the operation with a fine balance, and see that the major focus, it comes to self-care on the shop floor and in the offices through digital, I think we'll be able to deal with the financial impact of it. So a lot of regulatory and policies impacts are going to come in. Government is going to relook, step in again to see what kind of a changes in policy can be brought in. So maybe there will be a lot of revolution. There are a lot of reforms in the actually digital policy which will come, which is now restricted to some extent about it. So people, the policymakers will also pay a heed to make such policies to make it convenient for the employees. Like we are talking about all work from home. So I would say the new young youth population would have an opportunity of ease of working. Working digitally is going to bring an ease of working. So there is going to be a lot of opportunities. So any student from a college comes with digital skill set very strongly, will have an edge in the industry about it, because that is something which will industry look for it. Yeah.
So what kind of digital skill sets you are talking about? Can you?
Yeah. So I'll just come to you about it. So this is we are talking about it. I'll just tell you which are the areas the digital teams, digital skill set would be required. We call onslaught of COVID important 7S model, where people, the students or individuals or the corporates will need to adapt, adopt, and be agile. And if this is clear to the student that where they want to be skilled or where they have to be very knowledgeable, where they have to be polished, they will have to learn some of their like E structures. They will have to learn about how the E protocols to be made, or how to use a social media platform for the marketing purposes, or how to use the right, I would say, E skill sets to keep the businesses up to date and all. So I will cover it. Just come to the next slide. Next slide. Yeah. So, yeah. So let me cover this part of it. So, the focus on the industry post-COVID, what are the ingredients? So, these are the ingredients the students would like to eat. Any institute or any students who are in the life sciences, they can have a detailed study on the immunity building in nutraceuticals, immunity building micronutrients, immunity through herbals and Ayush, and immunity through discipline about it. So these are the practices in the industry where the students will get an opportunity to research through. So condition by condition. Come to the next. The situations where the healthcare will adopt it's more of the virtual, 100% virtual. So this will give you a little what kind of opportunities can students will get into a medical device industry, into a digital health era, advanced medical technology, medical imaging. These are the areas where pharmaceutical students can specialize that skill set of digital. So I'll just show you. Just come to the next slide. This we can skip because I'm coming to a specific. Like this is the area now the students should know when they step into an industry, evolution of health, wellness, and fitness is going to take place. And in this evolution, what is going to take place is all the meetings are going to be like maximum 90% of the meeting is going to be e-meets. It's going to be a social media marketings on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. So there are specialized training to be given to all the students when they are into academics, that how to handle the social media, how to handle the market, because when they come in, some of them will be moving into a medical, into a sales job. Some will be moving into marketing job. Some would be moving into the medical communication. Some would be moving into a regulatory function. Some would be moving into the technical function. All these functionary areas would require a digital skills, and they're phygital. When you talk about a phygital, it's going to be physically present, like you and me are present now. The audience and me are present now. So I don't have to go to a conference room in a hotel or in any corporate or a convention center to talk about it. So I'm physically present here. You physically present on your screen and the audience, and we can communicate. So these are the skill set we will need to develop, or to talking over the screen, to connect on the social medias, to conduct e-meets. So the students would need to learn lots of protocols and the etiquettes of the meeting about it. They know a lot of things, how to operate an app. How do you innovate to develop when they are into a pharma system or into a nutraceutical sector? They will have to apply a knowledge, come up with an intellectuals, come up with a strong tool to minimize the physical contact and become more digital way. So they will have to come with an idea. So when I say they would need to take a training into the digital skill set, digital platform. So you would need to identify, like for example, we are doing a meeting on a Zoom. So students have already now started coming on the Zoom calls or an online training or an online education. So there are various tools available now in the world. Like we are connected through Zoom. There is a webinar, there's a demo, there's a talk box. So people will have to start knowing such skills to develop their communication tools, their communication mediums. They will have to start communicating digitally internally. Probably we are in the same office sitting. We may not meet. We may meet once in a while, not having a frequent meeting. So we may have to come up and choose a tool where we communicate frequently. So there are a lot of mediums, there are a lot of platforms where we will be connecting. And these are the various platforms of like digitally where now people are connected, they're doing business. So when it comes to now the nutraceuticals, as I said, the most of the business is going to happen digitally. So most of the businesses, most of the products which will be sold is going to be through e-com. So how do the e-com work? When it comes to all these things, the next slide will show, like I'll just tell you this slide, like as I said, the conference meeting, setting up effective meetings, then even the supply vendor negotiation. Say for example, any of the pharma students is very good in numbers also, and he wants to make a career in procurement. Now today's procurement era is you meet a vendor on a day-to-day basis. You call them, you negotiate. You do it on the phone, you physically meet. There's a traditional culture that you meet a vendor one-to-one. Now the new culture would be probably you have to meet the vendors on the Zoom calls or on the meeting rooms, digital meeting rooms, and do it. You will need to design a programs for doctors to communicate or to nutritionists to communicate is through the digital medium. So the consumer contact or a doctor contact in healthcare industry will be more digital, which means you would be creating a platform, or innovative creative platform with technology, with digital technology, and will try to make a more effective communication platform for the consumer and the doctors about it. So which means today, if the doctor is going, if the medical representative is going to a doctor 2 times or 3 times a month, probably he will be given only once to visit. And the second and the third visit will be more digital connect. So probably that, yeah. You
so
want
there
to
is a question. If you see,
yeah.
there is a question in your chat box.
Yeah.
By Mr. Jawahar Nidambar, he was asking about what would be the consumer response post-COVID era when, because the costing, as far as cost is concerned, nutraceuticals seems to be costly products. So what would be the consumer response? If you see that question carefully.
See, I'll just tell you, yeah. So to answer his question, that consumer response as of now, they are in fact more agile and they've already shifted digitally. They don't want to come out and purchase. So first thing is, they have understood that this is a digital movement and everyone have to pay through Paytm or the Google Pay or online pay. So the consumer, with respect to digitally to buy the products, they are very convinced. Number 2, when it comes to the price of the products are being decently priced. I would say some of them would be expensively, they will be expensive or will be higher in price. However, the consumer has now got the hook that health is important. So he's ready to pay that premium. There would be post-COVID situation where consumer will be making a choice where to spend. It will be a education, awareness, engagement, and network along a program of the companies with these consumers to make them aware that health is the priority. So the consumer may walk into a shop to buy a garment, or a consumer going and looking something for the health. Here the consumer choices is going to differ now. If you see, there is going to be a fall down in that when we talk about the random shopping or the shopping through the festivals and all this is going to change. The era is going to change. People will spend more on health. They will look to do an exercise, work out. They will try to take some home remedies. They will spend on supplements. So there is a chance there would be an impact on the cost for the consumer. for a mass population, like I would say the poor class or not the lower middle class, this thing, but definitely there will be an improvement of a health status from middle class to a higher class, and there will be a group of products which will be accessible to a mass. Like for example, when we talk about an immunity to a consumer, he will have to choose a product which is easily accessible and affordable. And what are those? Those would be a vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin D3. But like a consumer who is an upper middle class or a middle class will definitely look for a better choices. And those choices would be like astaxanthin or a ashwagandha, which is also very good. They are very powerful than vitamin C or a E, but still the choice is between the classification of a consumer. So the student should know, for the knowledge of the student, there will be a bandwidth of a products where immunity will have 4 different types of products. They will have an option of a vitamin, they will have an option of nutraceutical, they will have an option of herbal, they will have an option of Ayurvedic. So these are like 4 different options about it. Now when we talk about,
yeah, as you mentioned that they will be having varieties of options, and you mentioned herbal also. I would like to ask you a question precisely for the students' community point of view. What is the similarity or difference when you talk about nutraceuticals and herbals?
See, I'll just tell you about it. In nutraceuticals and generally when you talk about the Ayurvedic and herbal, the first thing first comes with Ayurvedic and herbals, they are safe. They are natural. So there is a good impact on consumer minds कि ये natural है, ये प्राकृतिक है. तो difference ये है कि nutraceuticals, there are hordes of nutraceuticals which are natural also. They are modern solutions, and they are traditional solutions about it. So the consumer will have a choices between the modern and traditional solutions. So that will be an impact. If I'm loving the modern solutions, I will go for a modern solutions and I have to pay for a premium. There would be a traditional solutions where he is using into a raw form in its kitchen. अगर हम लोग आज जिंजर खा रहे हैं, तो जिंजर को हम सब्जी में डाल के खा रहे हैं. But there will be a standardized, pure form of ginger which is also available in the market in a natural form. That would be an expensive. So there is a difference of a raw form and a standardized form with purity. So if you want to have a really good preventive benefits, medicinal benefits, we may have to look, for example, to answer your question, say broccoli. If I eat about 20 to 25 pieces of broccoli and I take 1 coenzyme Q10 pill is equivalent. So for me to go and buy, first of all, whether I have an access to broccoli. Number 2, if I'm excess, can I afford it? Number 3, if I can afford it, is it feasible to eat 20 to 25 broccolis? So, and we are talking about so what is the convenient way of it? There are tables, like there are problems, there are table solutions. Table solutions are like अदरक का चाय पी लो, उसमें डाल लो, उसमें black pepper डाल लो. You can have a very good thing about it. But are every aware of this? The awareness is the key. You can have an economic solutions at your home. The industry is not saying that keep away everything, just take nutraceutical, keep away everything, take Ayurvedic thing. What we are saying is about it, in a general class of a population, when we say average all the population together, there will be a phases where you cannot have an access, or you cannot afford, or you cannot manage your time. Because today we are talking about just a COVID situation. Post-COVID, when you're coming back to a normalcy, the new normal, you will have to be a little cautious. And if you have to be cautious, are you ready to wake up in the morning? Then you'll have to create a discipline. Take a hot water, do the gargling, take a healthy breakfast, take a healthy juice, then eat the mid meal at 11:30, then take a lunch, then take a mid meal at about 4:30, 5 o'clock, then take your dinner, and then take a haldi doodh. So there is a process. You can be away, you can live without these supplements, but you'll have to opt for this discipline. So to balance it out, a discipline, when we talk about discipline, is about the diet, exercise, mindfulness, and supplements. This is the process. So how many people in the population will be able to have a combination of 4? However, taking supplements, constantly taking supplements every day can form certain discipline, and you cannot be deprived of nutrition, and your immunity will be maintained. You will be having a healthy immunity. So if you have missed out something in your daily diet, you can still cover up with that nutrition of a capsule. So what I'm saying is, it's not a substitute. You have to fortify your food, which means you are taking a healthy food. You need to add a nutritious part of it through supplements, or a nutritious part through an healthy foods. So if you are eating all your meals properly, great. If you're following a discipline, super. If you're doing a meditation, excellent. You will have a super enrichment in your life. But if something gets imbalanced, you need to balance it out with the mix and probability and combination about it. So the simple solution is, eat your healthy 2 to 3 meals minimum, do certain kind of an exercise, and add a supplement basic minimum. If people who can afford a vitamin C or a vitamin D can afford a zinc supplement, they can add it. But some people can add a astaxanthin or a ashwagandha. It will be a value add to its health, because post-COVID, it's one of the important aspects we need to understand. There will be a lot of stress. Like, we are already going through a digital medium, working instead of 8 to 10 hours, we are working 18 to 20 hours. So these are the stress moments. It's going to be a joyful moment post-COVID to be connected digitally. People will be more interactive, but there is a lot of stress, strain on your eyes. Now, strain on your eyes, you will have to eat 5 to 6 eggs daily. You will have to eat methi ka sabzi. You will have to eat green leafy vegetable to get lutein from the sabzi. How much accessible daily? Because we face a seasonal impact. Only in season you get these things. Now the constant nutrition day by after day, it's only can come through an external supplements. So if you add certain supplements as a discipline daily, there is no harm. There is no side effects. I would say, everything you eat, even if you eat excess food, will have a side effects. You would take an excess water, you'll have a side effects. So one needs to understand that what level of supplements to be added to a daily life about it. So we as a healthcare professional will need to step up to educate and create an awareness about it. So in nutraceutical industry, in food industry, the education, awareness, engagement, and network can grow the industry very vastly. Today, what is happening, we are not able to do it.
Yeah, so to continue this, you had already said certain placement, certain opportunities in the industry for the pharma students, right? So can you precisely mention 3, 4, 5 different area where a pharma student can be actually placed by the educational institutions?
So can we come to the next slide? Yeah, I will show that slide. Just come to the next slide. So we should skip this. We'll come back. You want to take me through this, or I'll come to that slide?
Placement you focus on.
Okay. So now let's tell you about it. As you rightly said, that what skill set first. I will cover the skill set, and then we'll cover which are the function. Now, when we talk about this movement or this moment or this era, is about the smart digital youth model. Now, first of all, as I said, what is that social media knowledge? Each student should have it. We talk about the social media intelligence, which means what earlier we criticized, that everything on the social media is all, I would say, shit happening on the social media. Now today, the same social media is keeping you aware, is keeping the track of what's happening around us, and it's reaching it to the consumer. So social media intelligence is something to understand. There are a lot of experts outside available, but there could be a brilliant student who may have a fancy learning for machine learning or a statistical learning, artificial intelligence algorithm. This could be an added advantage to a student if he makes with pharmacy and digital course and learn little bit about it. I'm not saying become an expert, don't be an engineer, but having a basic knowledge on this, how does the social media platform works for communication is important. And methodical. Student would need to be like, we used to write 2 to 3 pages of communication, or 4 or 5 pages of I would say an information about the product or an ingredient about it. We will need to become a very smart, short and crisp, content strategy, which means problem state. What is the problem state? What kind of a solution we can give to the consumer? So we'll have to define, we'll have to refine our things, setting goals, stay in tune with the trends, quick messages, understanding for who is our customer, doctor, patients, consumer, because we are talking about digital movement. When you talk about digital movement, the time will be less. You need to be absolutely precise and short. Trustworthy messages, evidence-based, fact-based. So when you talk about some ingredient or a product in pharmaceutical or in nutraceuticals, it should be evidence-based about it. And the speed, time, agility, I know your decision-making process, updating from time to time for every pharma students or these nutraceutical student will have to be very, very updated about it. But daily, you may have to be in touch with reading. Now, I would say a very prolific reader will collect a set of knowledge and expertise. In this lockdown period, what we see is the knowledge is going to take a very prime seat about it. The reading is going to take a prime seat, the skill set. So knowledge, intellectual, all the skill sets is going to be very, very important for a student to develop when he is doing his academics, to simultaneously develop that skill set about it. Come to next, the arenas, the opportunities. Yes. So this is where the students will get an answer. So, as rightly said, no, Somani, you were asking me the question, which are the areas where in nutraceutical industry, a student can make a career. A student can make a career in R&D. So, which means new ingredient research, new formulation development, maintaining those records, and waiting till the 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 24 months, the shelf life, the development of the product. So that is a research and development area where the career is very specific. We talk about the quality assurance. Quality is prime. So quality assurance in nutraceuticals, again, a huge career. One of the areas where a candidate would have a huge responsibility. And having been said, the regulation is robust. It demands for quality. It demands for safety. So the QA is one of the areas. QC is one of the area where, and again, it's a big operational job. It's on the shop floor. If you see R&D, QA, QC, and production, they are inside the plant. Which means a student who is pursuing a career in nutraceutical will have to pursue a career in the R&D, QA, QC, production, will be inside the four walls of the manufacturing unit. When it comes to regulatory, legal, and corporate affairs, it's more an licensing job, would require a travel, wherein you have to interact with the government officers, you have to understand the compliances, you have to see that your products, what you are developing, the research development of the production people, are they making the product in compliance with this? Then business development is going to involve the traveling. Now, when they say traveling, once you adopt a digital skill, the traveling is going to convert into a digital meetings. So till now, the business development was involving a lot of travel for the candidates. So here is one area, a big area, I would say a very important function where student can make a brilliant career is the business development, sales and marketing. Current situation is very difficult. Everything is moving to, again, digital, as I said. So here, the ground level sales is now going to convert into a digital sales. So this is where I was talking about it. That digital skill set is going to be very important. If you see the right side of I would say the opportunities, the business development, sales and marketing, strategy, sourcing and procurement, supply chain. This will require a specific skill set and which will be driven by digital. And where in the left side of it, it's more physical, which means a person would be mandated to be present for that 8 hours duty on the shop floor, except for regulatory. So these are the areas, and these are like highlights of each department, which is very, very superficially I have highlighted it.
Okay. Now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to completely. We have more 5 minutes with us, and then 1 or 2 questions we can take up.
Not an issue.
Yeah.
Okay, next. So just to tell that what kind of an activities where students can actually, Somanaji, where the institute and students can actually be engaged to stay updated about it. If you go to all these social media links, like for example, when we go to a website of ENAC, it is where the students should be engaged. For when you talk about a nutraceutical, you'll get lots of information. A best of experts are available. Lots of the informations are available. Lots of like global news are available. So these are the areas where the students should engage themselves about it. Whether be it's a website of ENAC, whether be it's a social media platform of the ENAC about it. So you will get lots of information to be connected. Like today, whatever we are talking about it, this is where the students should be connected and be abreast about the industry, its information, products, what's happening, who are the best, which are the best companies. There are presentations uploaded about it. What kind of a regulation is there? What kind of a policy change? So if the students want to remain updated, and today they have to remain up to date about it, this is a platform where they should connect very frequently about it. Come to the next. And this is something which I've announced 2 days back. And this is something which is going to be first time in India. I'm going to make an EAEN academic intern panel. Now, EAEN is Education, Awareness, Engagement and Network Academic Intern Panel. So I'm looking to shortlist. I would be sending out some, the forms, students to fill where we would be screening. And this panel will be exclusively as a student intern panel. So this panel would be engaging with various institutes, various students, and this engagement will bring in a lot of opportunities for students in the colleges about it. Which means if they want to understand what the nutraceutical, this particular 15 or 16 panel members are going to be a privileged student who will get all the orientation, education, awareness, training, and this will be shortlisted on the merit basis about it, on the capability of students who can carry out further EAEN to the colleges. Further, it means if somebody comes from DY Patil, understand the subject matter of nutraceuticals, he will be a partner of ENAC to go and propagate about nutraceuticals, education, awareness, engagement and network amongst the students of DY Patil, and he may be given an opportunity to go to some couple of college to do the awareness about nutraceuticals. So like what I am doing today, Somani ji, is my presentation to DY Patil. A student will be trained, will be oriented, will be subjected to those knowledge, and they will be allowed, they will be given an opportunity to go to various colleges to do the presentations, which means it by itself is a self-leadership. That is what is I called as a self-leadership. And that is what, say, if I'm imparting a knowledge, I'm studying, so that is going to be the self-leadership and a servant leadership. So the student will be first adopted for the self-leadership, and then they will be trained. So they adopt the servant leadership and they go to various colleges. So probably that could be a part of a project. And they can carry that project work about the education, awareness, engagement and network. It's a huge task. It's basically something, I mean, if somebody who gets selected on this panel of 15 will be a greatest opportunity for him to make a career in a big way about it. So we are looking at something very disruptive, very unique, very differentiated and unique.
So next. The details about this EAEN is available on your website, right? There are queries coming up, people
right.
are...
Now this is just, so yeah, EAEN is available on the website. With respect to intern panel, we are going to communicate to various colleges, to their principals, to the head of the colleges, and we will be keeping you posted about it. So that is something which is very important. Yeah, next. Anything else?
Yeah, so now...
Can you come back to that one slide we missed out?
Yeah, you just
conclude. Yeah. So just one example, like what kind of a work I'm doing, so that students will also come to know that opportunity is there, the Nutra work. Yeah. So this is just a little piece of work. A student should learn to make it in-house. So just a sample to show that this can be done by yourself on your computer. Such kind of a skills you adopt can be a good opportunity for the students to connect and market themselves. So Somanaji, thank you so much. This is something which I wanted to show that to the students, that if they start learning certain digital skills on their own, it will be an opportunity when they work in industry. They need to develop and they need to market themselves. It's very important about it. So they should come forward. I feel that this pandemic, they don't have to get panic. In fact, I would say very strongly, as an expert of the industry and know closely the industry, there are huge opportunities for the students. So there is no panic. There's enough of job. If people are thinking there's going to be job cuts, they're wrong. So don't worry about those things about it. I think we should focus during our academics and before getting into an industry to develop a skill sets. Will be a brilliant opportunity for the students. And I think they should be in touch with ENAC, know the group. They would know more about it. They should participate in various activities about it. And engagement with the industry is very important. That's what I'm trying to say. So there's a big, I would say, opportunity sitting for all the students who are present here. Thank you so much for having a patience to listen to me, for a long presentation. But I feel there's a bright future for all of you. So all the best.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Sandeep Gupta, for a very brilliant presentation. Lots of aspects you have covered about the nutraceutical industry, and certainly a pharma graduate would, would like to enter into different avenues apart from pharmaceuticals. And as I see that, as you mentioned in the beginning, that nutraceutical industry is going to be one of the, or rather, it is one of the growing industry into the, which is parallel to pharma industry. So thank you so much for spending your time. And certainly we would like to join our hands with you, and all the pharmaceutical colleges, institutions, and the students, of course, would like to take up certain kind of projects with your organization. So once again, thanks to you. And I am really thankful to all the participants, all the students, faculty members of different colleges, as well as the industry panelists who are present over here for their valuable presence, as well as their comments and their questions also. So as I wish to conclude, we will be having another session, that is our third webinar in the series on 13th May, and it would be addressed by Mr. Ayaz Sufi, who is one of the brilliant mentor for the student community. Particularly, we'll be talking about what is pharma industry and what are the opportunities. Most importantly, we'll be focusing upon what are the interview skills students should have, particularly while facing the interview in different aspects of pharmaceutical industry. As Mr. Sandeep Gupta said, that the era is of digital. Okay, and so what kind of digital skill sets you should have, particularly while entering into different domains of pharma industry, we would learn all these on 13th of May, apart from what we have learned today. Thank you so much, and thank you, NutraWorks.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Somaniji. Thank you so much.